Hello Wolfpack and welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Competitive Guide video. So today we're covering Machamp. Machamp is actually a really fun Pokemon to use. Unfortunately it is a little bit slower than you would like. It does make it a good option for a Trick Room team if you do zero out its speed and put it in a minus speed nature, but realistically this thing hasn't got the huge amount of support that it needs to be a really good speed user, obviously. So we've got 4 sets of Machamp today. Obviously it's got a huge attack stat. It's got relatively okay defenses, meaning it should live a hit, maybe 2. But yeah. Before we get started, please could you like this video and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'd really appreciate it. I am 25 subs away from 1600 at the time of recording this, and I'm trying to get there by the end of the year. This is probably coming out very close to the end of the year, so I don't know if I've made it yet. But I'd really appreciate it if I'm not quite there, or even if I am there. If you give that sub, I would really love you for it. Anyways, we're going to move back to Machamp because that is the focus of this video. And the first set we've got is a Flame Orb Gut set. Now this is a very common set that you'll see with Machamp. It works in things like singles and in doubles. If you have like a Tailwind user in doubles as well, that really works with Machamp. But we've got Flame Orb, allows us to burn the Pokemon. Guts allows you to have double damage. Double the power from your attacks. And I've gone for 4 attacks here now. There is one attack missing that you probably should always make sure that you put on a Machamp that has Guts, and that is Facade. And Facade is a huge one because it gets boosted whenever you are paralyzed or poisoned or burned, and it doubles. So obviously that is going to do a huge amount of damage to any Pokemon except for Ghost types. But if you want to chuck that on there, I'd recommend chucking that on instead of something like Ice Punch or Earthquake. Definitely think you should go for close combat, powerful stab, attack. Obviously it does lower your defenses, but you can always switch out and then get a different Pokemon in. Earthquake is good because it covers a lot of different Pokemon for quite a bit of damage. Although that being said, a lot of the overlaps with with ground and fighting type weaknesses are there, so you could replace that with Facade. Ice Punch covers things like flying types and also grass types and also dragon types as well, which can work really nicely for you. You've got Bullet Punch there as a priority. Now, obviously, if there's a mon that's only got like 10% health left, realistically, after your Guts, Bullet Punch is going to work quite nicely. Another move you could chuck on this set is Protect. If you wanted to get Machamp in and get it cleanly set up with its Flame Orb, Protect is a really good option to have on there as well. But obviously, 4-move Syndrome means you're going to potentially struggle to get the coverage on everything. EV-wise, when max HP, max attack, Adamant Nature, some more attack, less special attack, and 4 EVs and special defense. Obviously, if you're using this in a Trick Room, go for the Brave Nature and minus out that speed. Just lower it down as much as possible. But realistically, you want to go for a more bulky Machamp here. Like, you could go for the speed investment, but it's not going to outspeed that many Pokemon. And there are a lot of Pokemon that are a lot faster than it that can cause it a lot of damage there as well. Moving on to the second Machamp, we have got a Choice Scarf. So I know I said its speed is lackluster, but if you Choice Scarf it, you can outspeed a lot of different Pokemon, and realistically the opponent wouldn't probably expect you to have a Choice Scarf on a Machamp, so I thought this is something that we could go for. You got No Guard as the ability, so it's a really fantastic ability there. You could always go for Steadfast as an ability. It worked more in doubles because I don't see Fake Out as much in singles, but if you've got like a Kangaskhan or a Hitmontop or even like an Ambipom, Fake Out is a very common move on those, so obviously Steadfast might work quite nicely for you instead of the Choice Scarf, and then you can replace it with any type of item realistically. We've got Dynamic Punch on here with No Guard. Now Dynamic Punch is an incredibly powerful attack. I think it's based on 100 power, and it has a 100% chance to confuse the target, and the good thing about No Guard means that we are always going to hit that move, but it does mean the opponent is always going to hit their move as well, so just be cautious of that. But Dynamic Punch is a really fantastic combination with No Guard there. We've got Poison Jab to cover Fairy types, because Fairy types are obviously around in this generation now. Rock Slide to hit the things like the flying types. You've also got things like Ice types they'll hit, and I'm sure it hits other types as well, which I can't think off the top of my head. Fire types, for example. And then finally Earthquake is just a powerful move that just covers a few different mons. But realistically, 99% of the time you're probably going to click Dynamic Punch here because it is just such a powerful attack. EV-wise, got max attack, max speed with a Jolly Nature, so more speed, less special attack, and 4 EVs and special defense. And that just supports the Choice Scarf, so you're as fast as possible, so you outspeed basically anything that isn't Scarfed, or the majority of mons that aren't Scarfed, because it teaches like 350-ish speed, a little bit lower than that, but about 350 speed. which it outspeeds the vast majority of Pokemon, but I think like base 130s will still likely to outspeed you, unfortunately there. But if you want to replace it with something different, obviously go ahead. These sets are entirely just guides, and if you want to change things up, please do, because it needs to suit your style and what you need for that team. Moving on to our third Machamp, we have got more of a support Machamp, so leftovers on here allowing us to recover a little bit of health each turn. No guard Dynamic Punch again, that's realistically one of the best things about Machamp. It allows it to use Dynamic Punch to such an effective use. We've got Knockoff, allows you to get rid of items. Now, I think in this gen Knockoff is still boosted, so it is still a very powerful attack to be using, and obviously things like ghost types, which you can't hit otherwise, psychic types, which are super effective against you, having that knockoff ability is going to work really nicely. Bulk up to increase up your attack and defense, because why not? Bulk up allows you to kind of raise yourself up, lift yourself up a little bit, make it a little bit more difficult to have yourself destroyed, because the majority of the mons that I'm seeing, or so far that I've done, have been physical mons, and obviously a physical mon is going to be much less scary if you've raised up your defense stats. You've got Encore to lock mons into different moves, so if they're trying to set up or if they're trying to recover whilst you set up, then obviously Encoring could work really nicely there. If they're going for quite a weak move, or they've gone for, like, for example, Knockoff, and they're just continuously going for Knockoff at that point, Encore can work really, really nicely as an option there as well. EV wise, again, bulky, that you want it bulky this time, max HP, max attack, adamant nature. You could always go for the max HP, max defense with an impish nature if you wanted to. You could even go max HP, max special defense with a careful nature. So there are lots and lots of different ways that you could run the EVs on this. It is just down to personally what you need in your sets. And moving on to the final Machamp, we have got a Choice Specs No Guard Machamp. Now I have seen this used a few times before by other people. I think Pimp Knight was the first person that I saw use this, but you know, No Guard with Fire Blast, powerful fire type attack, boosted by, not boosted by Stab, boosted by the Choice Specs to 1.5 times damage, always going to hit under No Guard. Same with Focus Blast, and that one's boosted by Stab. Hyper Beam as an option if you're just like thinking you're going to go down that next turn. Hyper Beam can just destroy an opponent's Pokemon. And then you've got Counter, because I thought Counter would work quite nicely on this as well if you're taking physical damage. So I just thought 4 moves there. Definitely a completely gimmick set. You'll catch the opponent off guard, but as soon as they realise what's happening, they are probably going to be like, oh, okay, and just sort it out. But yeah, I thought this is a gimmick set that you could give a go. I've just seen it used a couple of times before, and I thought it was really interesting. But with base 65 special attack, you're not going to do as much damage as you might like to do. Anyways, that is all from Machamp, so I hope you like this. If you have, please do like, subscribe, and comment. I think I messed up my outro there. But like, subscribe, and comment, and yeah, I'm going to see you soon. Have a good one.